Welcome to Smoke Signals, everyone. I'm Matt Montgomery, along with head football coach and athletic director Wayne Coleman. Fighting Indians kicking off the season at the new renovated Tomato Bowl. Coach, you're kind of starting off with a team that is pretty good. The Carthage Bulldogs come in #1 in the state in Class 4A. Camp's been going on for a couple of weeks now. Kind of an unusual start this year with school starting on Wednesday, and you got your first game 2 days later.
Yeah, it's, things are kind of rushed right now. But what a better way to open the new Tomato Bowl. I mean, why wouldn't you want a #1 ranked team in there for the first game?
Place is going to be packed.
Yeah,
I mean, media coverage everywhere. It's going to be great. Talk about your team. You had your first scrimmage last week against Bullard. How's camp been so far?
Good. Very few injuries. Kids are working hard. You know, you got to be real careful about getting kids hurt before you get to the first game. So it's not much different than the NFL season. Those guys are holding their guys out for preseason stuff. We got to be real careful with our kids too.
The preparation started in the spring for this year. Talk about spring ball and how that went.
Had a great spring. Of course, we had the change at quarterback with Tristan moving back to Bullard, and Patrick Clater had an opportunity to finish the last 2 weeks of spring ball as the starting quarterback, which that was invaluable for us. I mean, for him to get that opportunity and for him to show us what he could do. We could see his skill set on display, and he's done a great job of stepping into that role.
Lost several seniors, some good football players. Filling the spots well?
Yeah, our offensive line is really starting to come together. We've got some kids on there that have played some ball. Marco Nunez has played a lot of football for us at left tackle, and that's a key position on your offensive line. And some other kids have stepped up on the offensive line. Those guys are starting to gel. And then defensive line, those were the spots we were worried about, in spring ball, but they have really come together up front. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, last year, Paul Shard, your defensive line coach, he was rotating 6 and 7 guys. Those guys are gone, and you had to fill those spots.
Yeah, we lost a lot of seniors on the defensive line, and our young kids have stepped in there and have done a great job. And Coach Shar is really good about keeping fresh kids on the field, and we expect a lot out of those guys.
Of course, with having spring ball, you only get the one scrimmage, and you had that last week against Bullard at Tomato Bowl. Your impressions of how your team performed? I know it's a scrimmage, but
different teams go in and focus on different things. Bullard goes in defensively and determined to stop the run, and they make you throw the football. And the good news is we threw the ball pretty effectively. So you've got to be able to sometimes take what the defense gives you, and we were able to do that in the scrimmage. And then defensively, I thought we held up pretty good against the run. So there were a lot of positives.
This is your 5th year in Jacksonville, and you've had 4 quarterbacks. You're trying to get that continuity. Now you have Clater, the junior, coming in. I know that's got to feel good to have that, maybe have a 2-year guy right there. What will you do offensively this year? Any different since he is a first-year varsity player, or were you just trying to keep it like it was?
The system is still in place that we ran last year. Lots of RPOs. Patrick was running the same stuff on the JV as a sophomore, so he should be comfortable there. He's got a lot of reps invested in this system.
Of course, you got University of Colorado commit Chris Carpenter back, 3-year starter, and you got Jalen Freeney at receiver. You got some playmakers on that side of the ball.
We do. We've got the ability to make big plays. We shouldn't have to rely on 10-play drives. We've got some kids that can go the distance. We got to be creative in how we give them the ball. Obviously, people are going to try to take them away from us. So we've got to move them around into different spots and make sure they're hard to find and hard to defend. And we're fortunate that we've got playmakers like that.
So Carthage, again, #1 in the state in Class 4A, and they deserve it. The 8 starters back on the defensive side of the ball, I believe 6 on the offensive side. Talk about Carthage, and we know they do it well, but what do they do?
Very multiple on defense. Coach Preston has got those guys. They've got a blitz package over there that's unmatched. They blitzed us 36 times last year in our game, and going into the first game of the season, that's a lot of blitzes for you kids to pick up. So needless to say, we've worked all spring on blitz schemes, and we've got our offense ready for that. And then Coach Surratt, he's got such a great offensive mind. They're always, one of the leading scoring teams in the state. So that's a challenge. They've got weapons on offense. They're going to be hard to stop. They've got a Division I left tackle up there that
Going to Arkansas.
an SEC football player. So they've got players, they got great coaches, they've got the whole shebang. That's why they're number one.
Yep, Zavante Dixon's back. He sweeped us a lot last year, if I can say it. Good player. They got to replace the quarterback though.
They do, and that's always a challenge. Anytime you're starting a new quarterback, and we've got the challenge and they've got the challenge. Who can protect their guy and help them to make plays?
On the defensive side of the ball, Bryson Tatum's coming back, but your secondary, you lost a lot of experience back there. Talk about how that's going, because Carthage is going to come in and throw the ball against a young secondary.
They are, and we've got our safeties back, Gallegos and McCullough.
Sure.
They've got some games under their belt. They started all year last year, and they're smart, and they can get us into the right coverages, make the right adjustments. But they're going to be matched up against a lot of speed over there in Carthage.
Yeah, and the corners is pretty much, that's who I was referring to. And you've got Carpenter, Freeney, but you also have some young players that need to step up as well.
We do, and we got to be careful about and especially early in the season, putting kids out there and making them play over 100 plays. You don't want to do that to a kid, and this is a good time, win or lose, to get a lot of kids action. Get them game experience and see what they're made of. See if there's somebody that's going to be able to make plays for you come district time.
Back on the offensive side of the ball, Aaron Richardson is going to be the featured back right now. You got Bryson Tatum back there. Offensive line, you mentioned you had a couple of young men the last couple of weeks that you weren't sure you were going to have, and you picked them up. So Thad Black's offensive line got solidified just a little bit there.
They did. We had some kids, Zalatil Antonio has stepped in and done a great job for us at right tackle. We had a big move in from White House. Kobe Anderson has moved back to Jacksonville. He was a kid that went to school here all the way through 6th grade, and it's been a while since we've had a 300-pounder. But,
yeah,
big Kobe's going to step in there at right guard and do a good job for us. And then we've got guys like Preston Chandler battling for a center position, Aiden Gay battling for the center position. We've actually got competition on the offensive line for positions, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is, because hadn't had that the last couple of years. It's just been trying to fill the gaps. Sure. Special teams, I know you guys work on that a lot. Did this morning for an hour. Pena Sanchez is back as your kicker. What a weapon.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. Alejandro has done a great job for us. And we're expecting big things out of him. He can kick it in the end zone. He can pooch kick it. We've got a sophomore, Santos Aguilar, who's a great kicker also. So we've got competition at that position. So, and that's key. You don't want people getting too comfortable thinking that nobody else can take their place. You always want competition.
So this is our first show, so let's just kind of run through. You got obviously Carthage coming to Tomato Bowl, then you go to Palestine, and then Henderson comes in and you get the break. Non-district schedule, still same as last year, pretty tough. Yeah,
it's a good group of teams to play. It's the old district we used to play in a long time ago, and it's kind of a neat Highway 79 rivalry thing we got going, and it's good. I mean, it's good. Those teams bring good crowds, and we travel good to those places, and that makes it a lot of fun for the kids. 9-5A
Division II. Pretty clear from everybody, all the prognosticators, that Marshall is the team to beat. A lot of guys back, in particular their quarterback. Who else do you see in the district being, the war horse?
It's hard to say. I think that the rest of us are pretty even. Mm-hmm. I think competition is going to be really tight this year for those playoff spots. And Marshall does have a lot of talent, and they've got a great coaching staff. But it's hard to go 2 years in a row undefeated on a district schedule, and that's what they're going to be trying to do. And they're going to have to stay healthy to do it. And I think I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody else in the group rise up and make a bid for the district title.
So Carthage Friday night, obviously, if you wanted to paint a perfect picture, you get the win. But let's talk about what else do you want to get accomplished in that first game. I mean, it's all the pizzazz of the Tomato Bowl and all the media that's going to be there. But focusing on your team, what is it that you want to get done Friday night in this non-district game?
I think we want to show that we're mentally mature enough to handle the situation. There's going to be a lot of distractions. It's going to be very easy to lose focus. So I want to see these kids, we talk about it all the time, dividing emotion from intensity. And we want to play with intensity. We don't want to play with emotion. And you can't step onto that field and look at that crowd and let emotion get in the way of your decision making. We want to be focused, and I want to see that kind of maturity on Friday night.
What are the keys to the game for your team to get the win?
Last year we gave them some easy turnovers in the first quarter. And
Inside the 20.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. They had a scoop and score, and then they had a interception return down to our 5 or 10. And we cannot give a good football team, you can't give any football team opportunities like that. So we want to make them earn everything, and we want to play a clean game. And that's really the key for us is, can we not give them anything, and maybe can we take the ball away from them, see what happens.
The 2019 season starts Friday night at the renovated Tomato Bowl. Hope to see you there at 7:30. We will be on the air, I should say live streaming, no more on the air, live streaming at jhs-sports.com. We'll be online starting at 6:45. For head coach Wayne Coleman, I'm Matt Montgomery. We'll see you next time right here on Smoke Signal.